A big thanks to Burnhard for sponsoring this episode.
If you want to know how to cook the perfect roast, then this is your video. I'm going to be showing you where to get a roast like this. I'm going to be showing you how to dry age it, and then I'm going to show you how to cook this thing. Let's go. It all started with an invitation from Van der Zee, who is the largest restaurant butcher in the Netherlands. They were working on a special project where they imported 4 wagyu cows from Spain to process themselves specified to the needs of their own customers. I was allowed to take a look at the process and the craftsmanship that goes into making beautiful cuts like this. And of course, I selected a piece for myself as well, and that's going to be the star for my holiday dish. While we were there, we got treated to a beautiful lunch from those exact cows. And after our bellies were completely filled up, we went home to our dry agers. Because this beautiful piece of roast needed to be hung as quickly as possible, keeping it nice and cool at the perfect temperature of 2 degrees Celsius, with the perfect humidity to let this piece dry aged, making it more tender and even more flavorful. 4 weeks have gone by. This thing has been sitting here waiting for me to take it out. So let's go ahead and get this giant out of the cabinet. Oh man, what a monster. What a beast, an absolute beauty. And I've got the specialist here that can tell us all about this cut, what it is, where it's from. Steve?
Ja, dit is mooi vlees. Wagyu Tajima, we kennen het natuurlijk. Dit halen we uit de Spaanse Teruel. Daar worden deze runderen geslacht en dan worden ze in twelven netjes uitgesneden. Nou, daar ben jij natuurlijk geweest. Dan heb je dit mooie stuk natuurlijk opgehaald. En volgens mij heb je dit nog een aantal weken laten rijpen.
Yeah, I thought I would just go over the top. So this is going to be my masterpiece.
En ik ben heel benieuwd naar het resultaat. Wat we hiervan gaan maken.
Of course I want to get the outside pellicle off first. Make sure you use the right knife for that job. I'm using a forged knife and this is a deboning knife. The cool thing about this is that it is soft knife. Soft steel is what butchers like. And why do they like it? Because while they're working, they can easily resharpen their knives, and that will make the job quicker and easier. There's something that I want to show you, because while trimming and dry aging, of course, in this process, there are a lot of things that can happen. Basically, you want the outside to dry up, but if you look here, you see a little bit of mold that started to appear. Now in itself, that mold is not a problem. The only thing is, if I want to make a roast out of this thing, that mold is a problem. And that is what I was doing. I was shaving off every little bit of outside until I came to that beautiful meat. Now the idea behind the shaving is that I have as little loss as I possibly can have. But now I found that that whole way is just going into the meat and I'm shaving off all of this beautiful meat. And that's just, well, otherwise going into the bin, and I don't want to throw that in the bin. That mold is in itself not a bad mold, and I can cut this off and have a beautiful piece of meat. However, cooking it like a roast, mold is no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my loss and I'm going to cut off the 2 outside bones, create beautiful steaks of that, and that way I'm sure that in the center I don't have any mold left. So that's going to give me the maximum amount of yield out of this piece of meat. Even though I really wanted to put the whole thing straight on the barbecue, that's not the smart move here. Beautiful piece of meat, perfectly dry aged, not a problem, but change of plans. And this is the end result, a beautiful trimmed up rib roast. Oh, what a showpiece. Look at this thing. It is super, super heavy. With it being wagyu, you have to really keep in mind that this can feed a lot of people. This is not a 2-person steak. This is not a 4-person steak. This is, I think, more than enough for 16 people. And maybe you have that one guy that says, oh, I eat a lot. He will regret it for the rest of his life if he eats the whole thing. But you be you, I be me. I'm going to share it with a lot of people. First, we need to cook it. I'm going to season it with some fleur de sel salt. Now, because it's a roast, I want to go all in and season it properly, which means using a lot of salt and a lot of pepper. Of course, I'm going to be seasoning all sides of this roast, and the salt and the pepper is going to boost the flavors, making it even tastier than it already is. Now my roast is all seasoned up and ready to be cooked. So I'm gonna fire up my Burnhard smoker. I'm gonna start by adding some hardwood pellets. And then all I need to do is switch it on and set it to a temperature of 160 degrees Celsius. Before I put the rib roast in the barbecue, I want to protect the bones because otherwise they're gonna have a really dark color and I want them to be light and really tasty looking. There we go. I'm going to put it on with the thickest part pointing towards the hottest part of the grill. Wow. And now you get an actual idea of how big this thing is. It makes my biggest barbecue look small. I'm gonna close the lid and now I gotta wait. This is gonna take a couple hours. Look at it! Wow! What a beauty! What a monster! What? This thing looks absolutely freaking amazing. Beautiful crust, and look at that fat, how it rendered down. And everywhere you push, you see that juiciness appear. Look, that's absolutely perfect. That's how you know it's Wagyu. And this hasn't even rested yet. This is a unique thing, even for me, and I've had a lot of food. A roast like this, to me, is something really, really special. Let's talk about the amount of flavor that we put on. Because this doesn't look like much of a recipe. But think about the quality of the beef, how good it is. That's beef flavor to the max. Then, this is dry aged, so the flavor of the beef became more intense and it became even more tender. That's level 2. Next, it has been smoked. And it's been seasoned with salt and pepper. So this thing has 4 layers of flavor baked into one without even making a recipe. Keeping it pure, but at the same time adding as much quality and flavor to it as humanly possible. I don't know what else to do with this thing other than to slice into it and take a look on the inside. Oh, there we go. Working my way through that middle. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's a meatgasm. Dude, come on. Let's get real here. Nothing can beat this. This is the absolute most beautiful thing ever. Ever, ever, ever. We got the outside cooked a little bit further than the core, and the good reason for that. Because this is where there's so much intermuscular fat. And it's also a more tender cut, so it needs a little bit more heat. And that center is nice and pink, and it's super soft. Oh, let's get some slices out of this and give it a try. I want you to realize, look, all these bits out right there, that's crunchiness. Listen to this. Wagyu heaven. I'm gonna go for a center cut. Boom. A little bit of a smoke ring, pinkiness. Guys, life doesn't get any better than this. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.